ESL teacher. Spanish is my second language. And as a national board certified teacher, I'm aware of the role that teachers play as leaders. I also was recently in El Paso, Texas, and I'm happy to report the only crisis on our border has been manufactured by this administration.
True fact.
And I was there through an organization called Teachers Against Child Detention, and my colleague Amy Hewitt-Olatunde teaches refugees and immigrants in St. Paul, Minnesota. One of her students wrote this poem. I want to read it to you. She's from El Salvador. She says, "There was nowhere else to go but here. No school, to danger. No friends, to danger. No life, to danger. Los pintados, the painted ones, in the barrio, too much danger. They rape, they rape, they rape, they kill. Girls have no chance. There was nowhere else to go but here." So the refugees that come to our southern border, they come because of these dire situations. So I'm wondering, what will you do as president to address these issues related to immigration, and how can we uphold our immigration policy so that we enshrine asylum seekers and refugees and give them the opportunity to practice their right to seek asylum? And then on a greater level, how can we address equity issues at the federal level for education policy so we make sure that we are supporting equitable funding initiatives across our country?
So immigration first and maybe education second. I believe that immigration has always been a strength of this country. Our country was largely founded by immigrants and largely built by immigrants. Our diversity has always been our strength. It's what creates entrepreneurialism and innovation all across America for our entire history. And in our best moments, we have not been afraid of immigrants. In our worst moments, we have. We have a Statue of Liberty standing in New York Harbor with that beacon of light and hope saying, "Send us your tired and your hungry. Send us your huddled masses yearning to breathe free." She stands for something. She stands for the fact that this country has always welcomed, not always, in its best moments, welcomed immigrants. And that is not what we're seeing from this president today. What he has done on the border is inhumane and intolerable. He is separating families, children from parents, mothers from babies, and locking up people in facilities that are run by for-profit prison companies. It's an outrage. I would get rid of all of that. That should not be under ICE. It should not be under Homeland Security. Immigration is not a security issue. It is an economic and a humanitarian and a family issue. So there is no such thing as an illegal human. I believe we have to fundamentally transform how we treat people seeking asylum and refuge, because in my state, and I know in your state, you have immigrant populations across this state, refugee populations that make your economy stronger, that make your city and states stronger, that make this country stronger. We should not be afraid of refugees and asylum seekers and mothers and babies seeking our help.
I want to see if David has a follow-up question about immigration policy.
Yeah, go ahead.
Senator, thank you. I'm from one of those immigrant communities you talk about, Southwest Detroit, born and raised in Detroit. My grandfather came to Southwest Detroit in the 50s just to make a better life for himself and his family, and me, his grandson, right, which is working out. So really appreciate him for that. And there's still families there that are making life for themselves, creating that beautiful culture, a diverse culture that you're talking about. But there's also Michigan being right off of the border, Border Patrol and ICE that is devastating families. A lot of earlier immigrants decades and centuries ago didn't have to go through a huge militarized police force to begin to start their lives here, right? I know grandmothers that have been detained in detention, low-hanging fruit, who check in with ICE all the time. I know grandmothers that have tethers on their ankles, unfortunately. Right, and my question is to you, so for one, as an immigrant rights organizer, I found a really great policy that I supported and tried to get the senators in Michigan to support the DATA Act, which you sponsored. And what that does is put some oversight on ICE and Border Patrol and collects data of who they're doing traffic stops for, right? And that's how we can see if it's racial bias and everything like that. And I'm wondering how you would get Democrats, Republicans together. Right now, it seems like we're so far to the right. A lot of conservative people have taken this country steps backwards. And I'm wondering how you can bring us back to do things that just make sense, to hold up our freedoms and values that we hold so dear.
I think you have to talk about the common ground, because the truth is, everyone knows that diversity is a strength, no matter where you go in this country, because they've seen it. So I would just remind them about why immigration and our story as Americans shows that our strongest and best moments are when we welcomed immigrants, and our lowest and darkest moments are when we did not. And remind people how important immigration is. But the bill that you mentioned is something that I authored because we have a Canadian border too. And everyone here in Michigan knows we do enormously great things with Canada. We have economics, we have businesses, cross-border transactions, we have kids going on field trips. Like, this is why our border matters, and the way people are treated at that border really matters. That's why I authored the legislation to say we need transparency and accountability. We need to know how many times they're stopping someone, what they're stopping them for. Are they stopping them because they don't like the color of their skin, or are they stopping them because they actually have a concern? That's the data we don't have, and that's why I supported that bill, because we have to get rid of institutional racism. And we have institutional racism in so many parts of our communities. We see it in the criminal justice system, but we also see it in everyday issues like healthcare, education, and jobs. And this is one area where I think transparency and accountability can help us.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.